What's going on, everybody? This is Waning Moonlight, and I have not touched the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC since it came out. When it came out, I did a run of it. I helped my brother and my friend through a run of it, so I've beaten like all the bosses about 3 times, but after that, I did not touch it. It was a decent enough DLC, but I just didn't think it was that fun. But I was thinking to myself, I should probably run through it again. I gotta do a challenge run through it. So I took the Oath set and I had the Pata, and I didn't even think I'd make a video of it, honestly. I was just gonna do it for the love of the game. Because if I ended up not having fun, I could just switch it up. But funny enough, I got a text from my brother and he was saying how he wants to run through the DLC as well. I was like, "Oh, dude, do you want to run through it with me? We could do a fist only run." And cuz I knew he had the bear incantation stuff. And he said, "Yeah." So, we got a special guest here today as me and my brother will be running through the DLC. How's it going, man?
Yeah, you ready to do it?
Fantastic. Alright, we're just going to jump right into the video. Now, to get us both accustomed to the land of shadow once again, we had to seek out a teacher, a dance teacher. Getting us started with the dancing lion. Now, this fight for a warm-up is probably one of the best ones to have. He's big, slow, but still a good enough threat, and our first attempt did end with a loss. Now, during this fight, I kind of realized me and my brother had like biblically accurate greed, and that was going to be a bit of an issue. We really just spent the entire fight just spamming RB, even if it meant getting hit half the time. Now, this could come into play a lot later, but for this fight, it was not like the biggest drawback, and we were able to take them out. It was like just a little difficulty. But anyways, with him taken out, we go on to the new Carrion Manor. Gotta say, I think this one looks a lot better than the school area. Take out the troll and get to Rolana. Now, Rolana, I think out of the main bosses you would have to do, I think it's one of the best ones. But she helped teach us that we cannot be straight out aggressive. Not only because she is very quick, but her combos will stun lock us back. We got a bit into the bad habit because fighting regular enemies would just get stun locked with our fists. So after we lost our first like 4 attempts, I realized I am fully out of fingers. Because again, I was not planning for this to be a, summoned run, so I had to grab those. And as she went into her second phase, we realized we were getting closer. And I don't know if you could see, but our weapons both do bleed, which actually synergize very well against a lot of bosses. Because, well, if you're both building up bleed, they're going to pop it as quickly as you can imagine. So, truly, Rolana was a bit of a struggle, but the hardest part of this fight was actually just getting the fingers for the fight. But after that, my brother and I went to the Shadow Keep, and we learned humility real quick. I remember the hippo on launch day and what a menace he was. So, that did not go well. But thanks to Night Rain, which I've been playing a good bit of, I've kind of gotten the groove into fighting the hippos a bit more, and he wasn't much of an issue after that. But after that, my brother was getting off for the night, and I thought, well, if he could be getting off, then I could probably get some setup done for the rest of the run. So I did everybody's favorite thing to do in Elden Ring and went on a walk. First, to grab more summoning fingers, I grabbed who I had about like 40, which sounds excessive, but I didn't know what we would need. Then I grabbed some upgraded talismans, I grabbed some skidoo tree fragments, grabbed some places on the map, even unlocking like the Frenzied Flame area and the Cerulean Coast. I really just spent so long. But anyways, next day we were back and I got a new fit. What we thinking? I think it's cool. And it's time for Mesmere. And I gotta admit, I'm not looking for the Mesmere. At this moment, I think I was Erdtree level 13, and that's the level I beat Consort Radahn on my first run of the game. And I think Mesmere is not harder than Consort Radahn, but he's still such a pain. I think his moveset needs to be tweaked. The fast spear is not only really bad to dodge, but I feel like his fire AoEs just go way too far. Like, I'll be like half a mile away from him and he's just hitting me with it. And his rush down, oh my gosh. Some may say it's a skill issue, and yeah, but that's not a very nice thing to say, so please don't say it. But I realized the build was missing something, and that was stance damage. So I went ahead and grabbed Frag Blade to see if that could help at all, and it didn't. So we called it for the day. Next day, in between rounds, I went ahead and grabbed the white mask and the Raptors jersey. And things went a good bit better, unlocking even the second phase. There, my damage was really starting to add up. Doing jump attacks were getting 1,000 damage. It's kind of crazy. And honestly, I don't know if I prefer Mesmere in his first or second phase. The second phase, the snake attacks can be crazy. But in the first phase, it's just so much at once. Let me know down below what you find easier. But eventually, we got a good combo going. Having Cragblade helped break his poise a lot. And with the double bleed, he went down just like that. So, that was a pretty good one. However, the next fight once again brought out the PTSD. I remember this man once again, just like the Hippo on launch, had a notorious hard move to dodge. So as he charged, I got ran over like I'm grandma on Christmas Eve. But other than that, the fight was a pretty good one. Commander Guys is just a decently fun fight. A more unique fight, I gotta say. 'Cause I mean, out of all the horse riding fights there are in this game, he's the only one that has a unique mount. And of course, the uniqueness of having gravity sorceries is pretty fun. But unlike Wicked, he did a bad job at defying gravity and was put down. So we enter his secret storage room and take all of his Erdtree fragments. Which, of course, is pretty helpful, because that brings me up to Erdtree fragment 17. So I'm pretty overpowered for this point in the game. But with that done, we enter Rowena, Saint of the Bud. And during this fight is actually where I'm going to remind you to subscribe. I do Souls content pretty much weekly, if not 4 to 5 videos a month. Which means I get more videos out than many Souls creators. And if this video gets 1,000 likes, I'll drag my brother through a challenge run of Dark Souls 2, which is his least favorite game. But that's what we're going to do because it's funny. And of course, just in general, if you have any run ideas you would like to see, let me know down below. So, Rowena. My brother died pretty early on actually in this fight. So it's basically a solo fight against a harder boss. And I got her pretty close, I gotta say. However, I was really bad with her slam attacks. And I also got rotted like twice. But next try went a whole lot better because he did not die in the first few minutes and we actually took her down pretty quick. But with that fight done, we were able to walk over to the Shadow tree and burn it. I'm not sure why burning this tree unlocks the inner limb or however you call it, but we do it. When that's done, we can go ahead and start the next fight of the most grueling boss gauntlet there is. And take on the Frenzied Forest. Yeah, of course we gotta get all the other bosses before Consort Radahn. So, I went ahead, grabbed through the Frenzied Woods, and also grabbed more set. I gotta say, I've never felt so bad for a side quest. I just told him to kill himself. That felt mean, I'm not gonna lie. But either way, why I grabbed that shield is a mystery I'll tell you about later. Because first, we're going to be taking on Midra. Now, I think Rolana might be the best of the main fights, but Midra over here is the best side fight in the DLC and probably my favorite in it. Now, his starting form is really funny because me and my brother just obliterated him with our bleed weapons. However, I skipped the cutscene, and my brother said, "Bro, you shouldn't have done that." And I was like, "Why is that?" And he said, "Well, we're gonna lose because you skipped the cutscene." Now, of course, I thought he was just doing a bit. But apparently, my guy has the power of foresight, because we did, in fact, get obliterated by the Frenzied Flame, becoming, well, not Lords of Frenzied Flame. So, second time around, I went ahead, watched the whole cutscene. As you can see here, I have it like super sped up. Mostly that's because I didn't know what to talk about during this entire little cutscene. But I want proof that I watched the whole thing. So after watching the cutscene, bro's head catches fire, which is a crazy party trick. I want to know like why removing his head allowed it to happen. Someone get body video on the line. So I don't know. Either way, we bled him out that attempt, so I guess he was onto something. Crazy call that watching the cutscene's all we needed, but we got it. With Midra down, we got a few more side bosses, but I couldn't decide between Putrescent Knight, the Sunflower, or of course, the more fun boss, Loretta! Yeah, I went ahead and went to the Erdtree. And this was for two important reasons. One, obviously souls. Getting some money is great. And two, for the Dragon Crest Great Shield. Obviously, we got a lot of bosses coming up that will be strong. Any chance I can take more hits will be wonderful. I also took out Melania. First time doing her fist only, and gotta say, pretty easy. I remember back in the day when the hardest souls fight was the Nameless King. He was a really fun one. Melania, I think, is a little overtuned, but that just might be me. But with Melania down, we can actually get into fighting the main side bosses left, starting with the Putrescent Knight. Now, there's a little something different about starting these fights. See, during this gaming session with me and my brother, beforehand, I'd swapped my build, so I have a bit of faith and then a lot of strength because the next few bosses can't be bled. But two, we were drinking tonight. So that kind of will show in how much we get hit in this boss fight. Half of it I blame on the Putrescent Knight. I'm not a big fan of him. Though he rocks the Orphan of Kos's weapon, he brings great shame upon it. But he may be an annoying fight, but he's not that bad, is he, bro?
No, I hate him.
Exactly. It's not like terrible. Just a pain. But eventually we kind of get a little into the groove, despite what the Putrescent Knight would want you to think. Though I do think a big thing that held this fight down was the fact that he would just keep running away and we did not have a way to catch up back with him. But eventually he made the fatal mistake of standing still for too long and we were able to jump him. Then we were going to go do the Shadow Tree flower thingy. Then my brother said, "Bro, wave to the fans, wave to the people, because we're going to get this first try." Then he said, "Hit this pose." And I actually didn't have that emote, so I was embarrassed and just ran in. But once again, my guy had the craziest call, because we actually got the Skidoo Tree flower over here. First try. Went down with 2 riposts, and then just straight up gunned him down on the last life. Insane call. So, of course, that means there's not too much left, and we actually have to go fight one of the best fights there is in the DLC, and that being Bale the Dread. But first, I somehow forgot to take on Ancient Dragon Man, so I respec'd him to bleed just to kind of make it faster. Took him out, and we made our way to the Archdragon Peak. Now, Bale, honestly, I thought would be a dread to fight, so I actually really prepared for it. 1, by putting on a lot of good armor. 2, by summoning Egon. Mostly summoning him though because he's the GOAT, obviously. And 3, I put on anti-dragon grease, which I didn't know how effective that would be in the fight, but apparently it was a game changer. With the dragon grease on, I was easily getting like over 1,000 damage a swing, especially with the jump attacks with the raptor cloak on, and I was cooking him. It was crazy. However, he cooked me first before we could fully get him. But luckily, we have more lives than Bale does, as he can kill us 1,000 times. I can kill him once. And you know, it's the last time that matters. And as you can kind of see here, a good example of that damage doses. Ooh. I really surprised myself with how much it did. And honestly, Bale was taken down in 2 tries, which was shockingly easy. First time we went to fight him, it took us like 5 to 6 each. So that was like 15 attempts in his arena. But anyways, that's enough blabbing. We're here to go fight Leda and the gang. Now, I don't know how familiar you guys are with fist weapons, but fun fact, they're actually really good against people. Well, regular people, not the boss guy. And so we really just stun-locked every single person here. Dryleaf Dane was the funniest one, because bro is a master of the fist, and he could do nothing but get obliterated. Leda even tried to do something, and she put up the best fight there was, solely because I just kind of got comboed a little bit closer to death than I would like to admit. And that's because my brother abandoned me, leaving me for dead over here. Not cool, bro. Not cool. But it's time for what we feared in Radahn. This is the same night, SMG Crescent night, so we had still been, you know, a little drunk at this moment. And it was going to kind of show with how badly we got hit. But Radahn, honestly, I don't think is a good fight. Some people don't like it because it's like, oh, we fought Radahn in the base game. What's the point of fighting him here? That's nothing unique. But I don't like him here because I don't like his moveset. I think he does way too much damage. And then the combos, I mean, like his like kind of combo moves, looking back, were pretty easy, but during the moment, they were bad. But this is what Moore's shield was for. My plan was to try to just guard counter him and see how effective that would be. Because I figured, you know, why not? It could possibly work. And, you know, the guard counter idea sounded great, but in execution, it did not go as well. I slowly learned after about probably 50 to 60 deaths. That might actually be highballing. It was probably like 20. Like he has a 3 to 4 combo. And no matter how much I want to, I have to wait for the final swing before I can guard counter. But even though this was a pain, I still had my bro by my side, right, man? Bro? Yeah, after a couple attempts, my brother was not feeling it. So I asked, yo, you cool if I just finish it on my own? And he said, yeah. And I mean, I could definitely see I was making progress. I had some really close attempts. But of course, the greed of man would always get to me. It was a very, very annoying learning experience to get this done. Some might say guard countering doesn't really count as beating Radahn fist only, but I think it kind of did. I mean, I'm still countering him with my fist, and that's where all the damage came from. Well, I put my weapon onto a frost infusion, just to kind of help with that. But anyways, after about 2 hours of attempts total, I was able to bring him down with a little bit of guard countering and a good bit of greed. And with that twink obliterated and his big buff man, there was only one thing left to do. See, we had taken down this false god over here, but I'm a man of the hand. And that means before I could truly leave the realm of shadows, we had to go visit my mother. Of course, I'm referring to the true Mother of Fingers. This fight actually definitely way too overleveled for. I thought it'd be like a cool story, like, oh, Fist weapons, final boss is the finger person. Yeah, it's funny, but she is meant to be fought way earlier. I put bleed back on these things, and fight lasted in like 30 minutes, I think it was. Even having the mimic was probably overkill too. But of course, this will be the final boss that we do. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe for more. And I do got another Elden Ring run planned. I was going to grab the Smith script shield and do like a Captain America run. So if you want to be a Avenger enjoyer, make sure you stay tuned for that. And of course, I hope you have a great rest of your week, a good month, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. Also forgot to mention I'm dropping a Night Rain video, so make sure you go watch that if you enjoyed this one. Okay, now it's really it. Bye.